Guys, Mark Goldberg here from Mark Vlogs Watches with a quick word for your friend and mine, ArchieLuxury, Paul Pluta, AC3, Archibald Chesterfield III. You know, he invented the quick wristwatch check, and the rest of us on YouTube, well, we just stole it. Help keep Archie full-time on YouTube by liking this video, watching this video, tell your fuckhead friends, and make sure to subscribe to his Patreon. And now, ArchieLuxury.
Hi guys, Paul Pluta on the Paul Pluta channel. Today I'm doing paid review 9N23. This is for Roy. And this is a very interesting video. Before we start that, wristwatch check. 5196 in yellow gold, the Calatrava. Okay guys, what are we doing here? This is a video review for Roy. Paul, I've PayPal'd you 50 US for the videos I've watched over the years. I admit I've watched much less recently because your reviews and other videos have lost any semblance of balance. I don't really enjoy the video I really enjoyed the video you did recently picking watches for an around the world trip. I know this kind of content doesn't typically pay unless it's a paid suggestion, but I think things like this will bring people in to your channel and keep those who have followed you for years engaged. I miss this type of video you did years back. Maybe if you look at doing those again, it will get new people interested, going and paying for content. Good luck, Roy. And this is a very, very interesting question. Some watches for around the world trip. And I gotta tell you, this is a really, really good question. What would you pack if you're going on an around the world trip? What would you take? What would you take, man? What watches, what wristwatches would you want with you? Now, good question. Now, the big problem is, let me tell you this. Governments are fucking evil. Governments are evil. I got to tell you something. Every country you go into, there are very few countries that are tax-free. The only country I can think of is Hong Kong. Hong Kong. Dubai used to be tax-free. Now they've got 5% tax. Singapore used to be tax-free in the early 2000s. Now it's 7%. What does this mean? What does this mean? What it means is, if you are going to a country, you got to declare, you're supposed to declare any expensive items you're bringing in. If you look at the fine print, it's a little bit gray, because they say if you're bringing personal items in, you're allowed to. But they didn't mean expensive personal items. So if you are actually doing a world trip, going to many countries, you want to have as little customs disaster as possible. If you turn up with 6 watches in a watch box, fuck this, fuck that, you're going to have customs alarm bells ringing. A good friend of mine, to show you how fucking crazy this situation is with tax and that there, good friend of mine, he was in Bangkok. He lives in Bangkok. He's an expat. He's a POM, an English guy, lives in Bangkok. He was going to the motherland. He's going to England. That's where he's originally from. He lives in Bangkok. He was taking 5 or 6 watches with him. So he took them out of Bangkok, flew to London, went through customs, no problems, which is surprising because the fucking EU are a bunch of cunts. Then when he come back in, he got nabbed at the airport for bringing these watches in. And he says, hang on a minute, they came from Thailand in the first place. They wanted proof of invoices. Then he didn't have invoices. He bought these fucking things. He bought them mainly in Thailand, but it was through Thai dealers. They don't fucking give you invoices. And it's a very tricky thing. So my advice is, if you are doing a world trip, you don't want to have too many. You don't want to have too many, because customs alarm bells could go off. Okay, so I gotta tell you, I think realistically, I wouldn't want any more than 3 watches. I myself, when I travel, I normally travel with 2 watches. 2 watches. So I've normally, now technically, you know, you've got to be so careful. You've got to be so careful. There is really nasty shit. The world is fucking nasty. The world is broke. The world wants to tax the shit. When they say globalization, free borders, that's for big business, not for personal travelers. They want to tax the fuck out of you. So I think if you're doing a world trip, you'd want 3 wristwatches. Now, what that means is you would have to have multi-purpose watches, meaning you wouldn't just have one for one purpose. You'd have, say, a dress watch, which also had a complication. So, I've got to tell you, let's design a three-piece combo meal deal for world travel. Okay, so, number one, we want a fuck off piece. We want something that says who the fuck we are, where we're from. It just, you know, you never know. You could be meeting the Queen, the Pope. You could be meeting Prince Andrew, Prince Edward. You could meet all these fuckers. You got to have the right posh watch. I think the ultimate posh watch, if you are doing a world travel, is a world timer. And if you want to go under the radar, I reckon I would go white gold or platinum. Patek Philippe, white gold or platinum world time, because it looks like steel. Not going to have customs problem with fucking white gold or platinum. And people in the know what the fuck it is. So that piece there, not only is it a world timer, which world timer is very useful when we're going around the world, we know all the times. It's also our fuck off dress watch. Beautiful complication. Absolutely gorgeous. So that watch itself chops off 2 watches. It gives us a ultimate dress watch and an ultimate, it gives us a world timer. Fuck me dead. So that's 2 things ticked off. The next thing we need is if we're doing a world holiday, you need a world travel, you need some sort of waterproof diver. We need a diver. Doesn't need to be discount. No discount divers need apply. No discount divers here, thank you. What would I do? What would I be looking at? Okay, what would I be looking at? So I would say myself, if it was me, I go for a fucking solid gold sub. That's the ultimate diver. If you are part of the jet set, that's the ultimate. Yellow gold, blue dial, fuck off. And you can wear it, so you're not going to be busted for that on your wrist, are you? Gold sub. You wanted to tone it down a little bit, 2-tone bluesy. If you wanted to be under the radar, steel, pre-ceramic, sea dweller. So that gives us a everyday watch, it's waterproof, and a diver. So that kind of gives us 3 watches in one. What else do we need? So we've got one more spot left, and that's what else would we get? Now, this is tricky. We could either go for a GMT function, or we could go for a chronograph. Now, that is a tricky thing. What would I pick? What is more useful? See, you might say, well, hang on a minute, Arch, you've already got the world timer. Isn't the world time, the ultimate GMT function? It gives you all the zones. True, but we can't wear it everywhere. I would tend to think myself, okay, let's look at both options. If I was going GMT function, Tudor Pepsi would be fucking ideal. An Explorer 2, 42 or 40 mil, doesn't matter. White or black, doesn't matter. And if I was going to GMTs, I mean a Pepsi. Interestingly enough, if I had already gone for a yellow gold diver, I would go for a steel Pepsi. What else would I go for? Yeah, that's what I would sort of say there. I would, if it was me, I reckon the GMT would be more useful than a chronograph. Don't forget, we've got the diver, which has got a diving bezel, which can be used as a timer. Okay, it's not as, you know, it's not as precise as a chronograph, but I'd certainly give that a shot. So that's how I would build a 3-piece combo deal there. One, fuck off. I reckon that the Patek Philippe World Time. Which one, you would say, which one would you go for? The ultimate choice would be a Khaleesi dial. I think 5110, 5130, 5131, or 5230, or 5231. Any of them are gorgeous. Any of them are gorgeous. Divers, Rolex. It'd have to be a Rolex diver. No question of that. Rolex diver. And thirdly, you could either go chronograph or you could go GMT. I think the Zenith El Primero would be a great chronograph to have. It's classy and it's under the radar. Mind you, a two-tone Maserati Blue Daytona pops. Absolutely pops. That pops. Absolutely pops. So those are the 3 watches. 3 watches. I think those 3 watches, you're done and dusted. That is it. That is it. And okay, so let's substitute a few then. Okay, let's say, okay, Archie. We say, okay, we don't want the Patek World Time. What else would you pick? I would pick either the Vacheron Constantin World Time. They've got the overseas and they've also got the more classical precious metal. The other one would be the Jaeger-LeCoultre World Timer. That's a great piece there. We could even go Lange 1 World Time. Then, as far as the divers go, I can tell you now, divers must be Rolex. There is no, I wouldn't even consider Blank Pain. I wouldn't even consider Omega. It's got to be Rolex diver. Whether it's two-tone, solid gold, or steel, doesn't matter. It's got to be Rolex. And then if we went for a GMT function, Tudor or Rolex, that's the only 2 brands. If we went for a chronograph, Omega, first Omega in space would be good. Zenith El Primero Chronomeister would be great. And maybe a Breguet Type 20. That's a cool traveling watch. It was a pilot's watch, as they say. So, guys, that is a 3-piece Hunger Buster, 3-piece combo meal deal. I'd probably say too, if your ego allows, I would get them in white metals. If you wanted less customs trouble. It's yeah, that is really the situation. So I got to be honest with you. That is honestly the way it goes there. So 3-piece round. That could get you going for 6 months, 12-month world tour. Have the time of your life. Eat wonderful food, drink beautiful alcohol, and meet some amazing bitches. I'm Paul Pluta. This has been a paid video request. This here was for Roy. Tell me what you think, guys. Like, subscribe, tell your fuckhead friends, put some nasty comments below, and don't be afraid, guys. You can request videos. If you PayPal me $50 I will make a video on any topic you want. I'm Paul Pluta. Tell me what you fuckaroonies think of that.
Oh. Hey Archie Luxury fans, if you're into luxury, then you gotta be into 66 Buick Rivieras. Check out my son and I, Alex, as we restore this beautiful 66 Buick.
Neighbors are having a picnic, you know, having fun and stuff. Me, I'm doing cars. It's what I've done my whole life.
David SW. David SW. David SW. Who does ArchieLuxury recommend is the greatest grey market dealer in America? There's only one choice. David SW. That's right, guys. I've got to tell you the honest truth. I have for a long time been looking for the perfect answer. Who do I recommend people go to see? Who do I recommend that people can go and buy watches? And I've got to be honest with you. The greatest pre-owned dealer for Rolex, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet is David SW. David SW. David SW. DavidSW.com. That's right, guys. I have been looking for a contact who I can very nicely refer people to. I am not in the selling business. Customer service, I'm too old to sell watches. I'm too old. I like to recommend my viewers to a reliable source. In Australia, I've got some great sources. There's Sydney Watch Exchange with Cove, Ronnie at Vintage Watch Co, Shani at European Watch Gallery. And in America, who is the best source for pre-owned Rolex? For all the hot models, there's only one person I would recommend, David SW. David SW, David SW. That is the premier source for pre-owned Rolex. I gotta be completely frank and honest with you. Guys, if you are looking for a hot Rolex model, there is only one place you can go to. David SW. David SW. David SW. Let's be honest, guys. There's no point schmoozing the dealers, the ADs. They're just a waste of time. Unless you're going to buy 20 pieces, you are wasting your time. What you're better off to do is pay the market premium and go to a good pre-owned dealer. Who do I recommend? David SW. David SW. David SW. That's correct, guys. I want to tell you this now. I 100% stand behind David SW. David SW, the greatest pre-owned dealer in the entire United States of America. That's right. The greatest pre-owned dealer for Rolex, for Patek Philippe, for Audemars Piguet, David SW. He even does things like FP Journe. David SW. David SW. David SW. That's right. If you want to buy a pre-owned Rolex, a Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, there's only one good source I would recommend. David SW. David SW. David SW. I'm Paul Pluta, the method actor who plays Archibald Chesterfield III, and I'm proud to recommend David SW. See you later. Thank you for watching this channel.